In this new age of AI, the role of student writer is changing. The focus used to be on instruction that emphasized learning writing skills, technique, and style. As writing instructors, we taught students about topic sentences, a thesis statement, gathering and evaluating references, and crafting a solid academic argument based on research. Historically, that has been the focus, producing competent writers whose mastery would foster critical thinking. Academic writing fosters critical thinking by requiring a disciplined process of analysis, synthesis, evaluation, and argumentation. Unlike descriptive writing, which simply reports information, academic writing demands that a writer engage with a topic on a deeper, more analytical level. The process of composing an academic paper requires a writer to critically assess sources, construct a logical argument, and support claims with evidence, all of which are fundamental components of critical thinking. University of Toronto, 2025. The University of Toronto's Institute for Studies in Education created a list that discusses the differences between descriptive writing and critical thinking/writing. As you can see from the list, the left column has the qualities of descriptive writing, and the right column expands on the concepts to discuss critical writing, which is critical thinking for our purposes. I think that the list of critical writing elements here can actually be renamed under editing. In this case, we can call it critical editing. This is where I see college writing courses going in the future. Descriptive writing's demands are more simple than critical writing, which we are renaming critical editing from here on out. Descriptive writing states what happened. Critical editing identifies the significance of what happened. Descriptive writing states what something is like. Critical editing evaluates the strengths and weaknesses of something. Descriptive writing gives the story so far, while critical editing analyzes how the story so far impacts on the current state of the focused issue or stakeholders involved. Descriptive writing describes how to do something, while editing explains why things are done in a certain way. Descriptive writing explains what a theory is, while critical editing says why a theory is relevant and identifies the strengths and weaknesses of the theory when it is put into practice. Descriptive writing explains how something works, while critical editing explores why something will work. Descriptive writing describes what method is used, while critical editing determines if the selected method is appropriate for the research or writing task. Descriptive writing reports when something occurred, while critical editing examines the conditions and timing of what occurred. Descriptive writing identifies the components of something, while critical editing goes beyond and considers the importance of the components. Descriptive writing discusses options for the topic or theoretical approach, while critical editing evaluates the purpose and significance of identified options. Descriptive writing lists details, while critical editing examines the relationship between and the significance of these details. Descriptive writing simply lists things in any order, while critical editing explains how information is structured in a specific order dictated by the purpose of the writing. Descriptive writing gives a high level of explanation of links between items, while critical editing shows the relevance of these elements and how they interact with one another. Descriptive writing gives high-level discussion of evidence, while critical editing ensures that connections and consequences of the evidence supports the research question or thesis. Descriptive writing provides high-level, general discussion of comparative information, while critical editing attempts to make reasoned judgments and comparisons based on evidence and methodology. And finally, descriptive writing presents information and may summarize the research, but critical editing draws conclusions and projects future research opportunities raised from the topic. With this comparison list, I propose that we make a division between critical writing and critical editing. The delineation begins by understanding the role AI plays in college writing courses now. As we have discussed in class, AI can help college students write academic papers by acting as your research assistant at various stages of the writing process. It streamlines tasks like brainstorming, outlining, and editing, allowing students to focus more on the core intellectual work of research and critical thinking. It can help a student with writer's block, because simply getting started is often a challenge. I have heard hundreds of students over the years explain they don't know how to start. In the past, we did brainstorming exercises, mind maps, Venn diagrams, and all sorts of other idea starters. Annotated bibliographies were my default process to help generate ideas, but oftentimes student writers were stuck even before that step. According to an article by Hirata and Aziz, 2024, AI should be embraced as an ally to college writers rather than seen as a cheat or shortcut, meaning AI can be used to help generate ideas or bullet points about an idea a student would like to explore. In the past, students would spend hours and hours in the library searching for topic ideas, doing unproductive searches because they don't really know what they would actually like to write about. AI has removed that piece of the process, and we've already discussed it in class. So, what could be a description of critical editing in college writing? I've compiled and written a mission statement of what critical editing is in the context of AI in college writing. Basically, critical editing posits that critical editing in college writing is a multi-layered process that goes beyond simple proofreading. It involves a deep engagement with your own text to ensure that it not only has correct grammar and punctuation, but also presents a clear, coherent, and well-supported argument. It's about taking on the role of a critical reader of your own work to identify weaknesses and make significant improvements. AI is doing a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to thesis generation, idea development, and retrieving correct, appropriate, and valid references. That means a large portion of writing is going to be critically editing your drafts. You must validate all of what is before you, including checking the references to see if they are real and not AI hallucination. We've also discussed that in class, too. You're responsible for all of it. I hope this little brief helps define the difference between critical writing and critical editing. AI is not simply a new learning technology, it is transformative technology. I have included my references as well, and here they are. Thanks for watching.